Good evening. Welcome to your Ass Hurts News Network. Coming to you live from the tip top of Cock Tower Square with your host, Sergeant Friday. Sarge, how you doing?
Cletus. I'm awesome.
Where's the Cock Tower? I don't see it.
Well, the cock towers is it's not in this. It's not there. I got to switch it over. Hang on, if it'll let me.
It's under
See
maintenance.
if it gives me these opportunities to do these things. I think the opportunities have been far and few between, just as I planned them for the winter. Does it show? I don't think it does anymore.
No, it's not showing anymore. It's just a.
There it is.
There we go. There it is.
Your Ass Hurts News Network. With a slightly younger version of your host in the right corner. That was trying to pawn off a wedding ring on Cletus, but he ain't ready for wedding yet.
I'm just
he's hot for titties, but he ain't getting no final say.
I'm just not Italian enough for a gold band with fucking diamonds in it. Sorry.
What are you talking about?
It's just no, man. Like I said, that's like a fucking mobster ring.
It's just like a hell no, he says. Come on, it's a beautiful wedding ring. I should get an image of it. It's very nice, very classy.
I am completely more than satisfied with mine. That has.
It almost says, "Don't argue with me, or I'll shoot you."
Mine is made from a Sherman fucking tank. What does that say?
A Sherman tank. Your hand's gonna be fucking perpetually down by your waist because it's too heavy to hold up. Got a ring you can't swing, motherfucker. What are you doing? That's just crazy. A Sherman tank. He's making a ring out of a Sherman tank armor. I mean, come on.
I didn't make it. Somebody fucking made it.
Somebody made it.
She got it because she knows one of my favorite sayings is Patton's grab them by the nose and kick them in the ass. So
there you go.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, lately the science community, since Trump is one, is coming out they're coming out crazy, bro.
Why?
Well, because they're admitting that physics and all that we know is flawed.
Oh.
Theories on this and theories on gravity and theories on that and that and that. Here's, there's some shit being said that's never been said before, and there's people arguing against things and ideas and theories when it comes to string theory, when it comes to quantum physics, when it comes to this or that. It's like finally the science community seems like they're not all biblically fucking adhering to the fucking statements that were made 80 years ago by fucking Einstein. Not to say he's not a great man, a great thinker, and come up with a lot of great ideas. He did. But it's still the theory of relativity, which means there's more to be found. And that's what these people are doing. It's kind of cool.
Hell yeah.
What the hell? That Brian Cox, I think Brian Cox either slipped or Brian Cox is an idiot. He's a really well-known public scientist, physicist.
Okay.
And he's a young guy, but and that's his appeal. He's brilliant. He's young. He'll climb a mountain. He's just a regular fucking kind of guy. Nerdy, obviously, but I mean, capable and does all kinds of shit anybody else does. But he came out and said that traveling at the speed of light gives you a variance in distance. So when you go to the speed of light, whatever distance you're traveling is reduced by 7,000 times. That's fucking crazy, bro. I never heard that ever. No one has ever said that to me in my adult life. That distance reduces itself by 7,000 times when you hit the speed of light. How can 1 mile be 7,000 times shorter?
Yeah.
Right?
No, that's that sounds fucking ridiculous.
See, that's the kind of crazy I'm in. Right? I'm in the kind of crazy that wants to understand that, okay?
Yeah, I would love to hear the breakdown of how that theory works, because that is interesting.
Hang on a second. Here's the thing. He's saying it's not a theory, that they prove it every time they fire up CERN. I'm going to get a fucking link to that. Yeah, listen, it's the first time I've ever heard a theoretical physicist or whatever this guy is, and this guy's no joke. He's a smart guy. I disagree with some of his shit, like on gravity.
So he's saying that because you're moving at the speed of light, distance
is
less.
Does that link show up for people to actually use?
Yeah.
It does? They can click on it or copy and paste it?
I don't know if they can click on it, but I do see it in the chat. All right,
so, or you guys can copy and paste it. But yeah, you want me? It's a short clip. You want to see it?
Yeah.
All right, we'll present it because that's the kind of peeps we are in here. Let's see here. All right, listen to this. This is fucking awesome, bro.
Travel close to the speed of light. So if you had a spacecraft traveling close to the speed of light, then distances shrink from your perspective. The one number I always have in my mind is at the Large Hadron Collider at CERN, the protons go around the ring, which is 27 kilometers in circumference, and they go around at 99.999999% the speed of light. So close to the speed of light. At that speed, distances shrink by a factor of 7,000. And so that ring is something like 4 meters in diameter to the protons.
Whoa.
So according to laws of physics, if you can build a spacecraft that goes very close to the speed of light, you can shrink the distance to the Andromeda Galaxy. And so you could traverse across that distance in principle in a minute, according to physics. However, the downside is that if you came back to the Earth at that speed to tell everybody what you'd found, at least 4 million years would have passed on the Earth.
Oh boy.
So we could, in principle, explore the galaxy and beyond, but getting to chat to everybody about what you found is forbidden.
Wow.
By the structure of the universe. Just the
That's
way
a-
that relativity works. That if you
Hello.
I don't know. I don't even know what to say about that.
The only place I take issue with is the 4 million year time variance,
Yeah,
right? So, are you mean to tell me that when you send that fucking proton around that particle fucking beam, why isn't it showing up on the other side of it 4 million years later, or 4 seconds later, or 4 days later, right? Why is your test instantaneous within that vacuum tube? Yet if I do the same thing in space, I lose all of this time. This is where I argue with the physics of space-time. I don't believe space and time are one. Time is a simple construct of man's measuring, like a tape measure. You don't see any kind of law of physics that includes a tape measure. Why do you include fucking time?
well,
That's
and I
why I
mean,
disagree with Einstein. I don't think time and the speed of light and time and space have any relationship other than a direct relationship like you and I are having right now.
well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, if you travel at the speed of light, you could be in fucking China by the time I take 1 step. You could be at China and back by the time I take 2 fucking steps. It doesn't mean that during those 2 steps, 4 million fucking years have passed. Like, what the fuck? I don't get it.
Yeah. So let's say the nearest galaxy is 40 light years and you could jump across it like that in a minute. You got to realize that what they're telling you is that the light that you left behind won't get to you for 40 years, but it'll get to the Earth those whole 40 years. Do you follow me?
Yeah.
So what they're doing when they combine space and time is, I think what they're doing is a huge error in physics. I really think time should be left out of these fucking thoughts and explanations. If in fact you can shrink distance simply by going the speed of light, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you could shrink distances by 7,000, a factor of 7,000, that makes all planets around us accessible. The question is, how do you get to that speed? And I think the answer is simpler than simple. I think the answer is light.
But
you need to have so much light surrounding your craft, okay?
But here's my fundamental
that it can pass
problem.
through it at that speed of light.
Here is my fundamental problem. Speed in and of itself is measured
Like this.
in distance over time.
Right.
So how the fuck can you reduce the time?
How can you reduce the distance but not the time? That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, how can
That's
you?
exactly the question I have in my head.
Yeah, I mean,
And the reason, listen, I'm going to explain to you why. The reason why is because Einstein's theories make space and time one and the same. That's the problem with his theory, in my opinion.
well,
Time is local. Once you jump out of the local system, you no longer have any relationship to the time here. Your time is unique to where you're at that instant.
right.
Therefore, I believe that you could jump out and jump back, and the only time that was lost was jumping out and jumping back. Do you follow me?
Yeah.
That makes much fucking more sense, just like you see on Star Trek, than this idea of millions of years transpiring on a trip that took 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Right. So this is where other scientists are also coming. I'm not a scientist, so I when I say other scientists, I mean others in his community, in his group of thinking and teaching, all those people associated or directly or indirectly with this gentleman are having the same argument. It's that sometimes we complicate the simple.
Yeah.
Right? Because we're in such wonderment of what we're seeing. So we think everything like a flower's got a mathematical formula. They show you all these images and how they all relate to math. But I promise you that those images themselves and those shapes that the universe has would never mention numbers. I don't give a fuck what the shape is, a parallelogram, a fucking pentagon, a fucking triangle. None of those denote or have any connection to numbers other than what we place upon them.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And so we are in such a limited fucking box of how we view things that they have to be definable. And that in sense is kind of necessary because your brain needs some definition to grab a hold of to move on with collection of knowledge. But when like these people in modern science today, if your math formula isn't written like Beethoven's symphony, if it doesn't play across the numerical fucking or the mathematical spectrum in a symphony, a musical way, they won't accept it. So if your math isn't real clean and smooth, and if it were played by a fucking a string quartet wouldn't sound beautiful, then scientists won't even look at your math.
Yeah.
They're so close-minded. And they're so stuck on what Einstein said. And Einstein, again, it's the theory of relativity. And when you have a theory, that means you don't have all the answers, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so finally science is now, and a lot of scientists are starting to speak up. More so now over the last, believe it or not, I sense it's stronger now than I did before Trump was elected. It's kind of weird, man. So anyway, that was just like I said, this isn't a stream of any import. Too bad Carl's here. Listen, look at that. We got the famous Carl Ferguson in the house.
Mr. Flat Earth himself.
Mr. Firmament.
That's right.
Yeah, well, you can't live what you can't live without. I just made that one up, or I heard it somewhere and it came out perfectly. How did that fucking happen?
Oh, fuck.
Oh, man, I'm a fucking mess, bro, and I love it. There's never been a retard quite as retarded as me. It's a fucking joy. It really is.
Oh, fuck.
Did you see the title?
Yeah.
Something special and not special ed, you nut jobs? Because most of you probably were in it. If not, the classrooms weren't big enough at the time and you avoided it. You know what I'm saying? Through no effort of your own. Fucking mechanic class could only have 100 fucking people. You all missed out because it was just wasn't enough seats for you. Fuck, man. Special ed should have been fucking broadcast throughout the entire fucking school. Yikes. Oh my! And Carl's been nominated. He's got a blue star, and he's not really king moderator here, but he is a king. He's a king of the 5.62 billion morons that surface on the internet on a daily basis. Cletus?
I think that that title probably is something Carl would be proud of. Actually,
I might have to add that to that little banner.
Yeah,
Carl Ferguson, king of 5.62 billion morons. That's going to be a great fucking banner right there. I don't know if I could change it during the show. Probably not, but you never know. Because you could do enough. So I start puffing stuff. Poor Carl. Heidi's on with that one. Anyway, I wanted to also address the Idaho 4. And people in the audience, especially people that are, because I'm not out here, obviously, as much as I was at one time. But winter's kind of my playtime because I take the winters off. Let's see here.
He said, damn proud.
Damn proud.
Oh
man.
It's crazy, right? Because I haven't even looked.
How do you spell his last name?
Ferguson. You're literally fixing the banner right now. That's fucking awesome. There you go, Carl. It's crazy because I haven't even looked at the Idaho thing since February, and I've literally heard 2 or 3 people mention it in conversation about this whole new released filing, and I'm like, well, what is it? Oh, well, he was a suspect of a murder from a year or 2 prior, and I'm like, fuck. I'm like, what?
There's that. Does anybody in the audience know, Heidi? Some of you have to know this. Let me go to the comment section. Carl, you got your Christmas fucking cheer is already here. And
Merry Christmas, Carl.
Fucking Merry Christmas there, Carl. King of the fun. There's been a few more morons added just in your behalf. It's 5.63 now. Just I'm just saying I'm gonna give you the credit due.
Oh fuck.
Those are all the people you associate with on fucking YouTube, including me, probably. So, Cletus, we're all in there.
Yeah.
That number should be going down. Somehow Carl has managed to increase the amount of morons online. Congratulations, Carl. Merry Christmas.
Oh, fuck. That's funny.
Single fucking handedly. Look what he did to that number. It's crazy.
Just like that one-armed masseuse.
That one-armed masseuse, I'm telling you, she was a shit, bro. Man. So, in this Idaho 4 case, my understanding is that we're at a point now where all of these filings are being made, and she's trying to get stuff removed, destroy stuff, which should have happened in the preliminary hearing. I want people to realize that what you're seeing and finally file is because once the preliminary hearing was skipped and they went to a direct indictment, they were trapped in the system. And the system has a process that you proceed through to get to the trial. So you're seeing what you're seeing now, that in my humble opinion, because I'm very humble. Cletus?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. There's
the
my
humblest.
fucking proof. A guy that don't his real name isn't even Cletus.
You fucking Scrooge with a smile. What are you talking about? He's humble as hell.
Fucking Scrooge with a smile. A happy smile too, not even a sinister one. I'm happy as fuck. How's that your turkey? Yeah. Fuck yeah, ham. Give me that ham, bitch. Shit. So suppress. These are motions to suppress. Now, hang on. Alrighty. So, and these motions to suppress, she's going after everything that they have. And it's not a defense attorney's prerogative to do that, to just cause delays. It goes all the way back to the PCA. And I'm going to get to what that other accusation is out there. The PCA, folks, I don't know why Americans think that probable cause can be anything. I really don't know what floats through the minds of Americans when they're that fucking stupid. Probable cause means that, and it's like more likely than not that you did something. And and when you read this guy's PCA that they filed to get Kohlberg arrested for a quadruple homicide, it's more exculpatory evidence than it is an accusation, because none of it can be proven. And everything that they've stated has slowly but surely been disproven, which should have happened in a preliminary hearing. We shouldn't be hearing now, all this time away, that the FBI agent is comfortable knowing that his identification of the car around that house isn't 11 to 13. He's way more comfortable with that than he is any other car. That should have been known fucking June of 2023.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That there's no DNA in his car, in his apartment, in his home, on his person, or anywhere associated with this guy. That the 12 trips had nothing to do with that house. He wasn't stalking. All of this shit you should have known fucking 2022. 23, I'm sorry. Fair enough, Cletus?
Yeah, fair enough.
All the motions she's filing to go after him are based on the fact that the PCA offers not one good piece of evidence, not even hearsay. And yet, how many Americans on YouTube accept that PCA is written in fucking a gold standard of fucking what you would do to arrest a guy of a quadruple fucking homicide?
Oh, it's unfucking believable. And this same group of fucking people don't trust the government.
Well,
But you'll believe that fucking document, won't you?
I find it incredible that even a policeman that we know is a policeman suggests problems with that, problems with the search. But he's not surprised to get that the warrant was issued. But here's the catch-22. This is why I even ever got back on the fucking internet, streaming, getting involved with any streaming, because I stayed away for more than 2 years.
Yeah.
Right. So the fact of the matter is that PCA is so inadequately written as to show a likelihood that he committed the crime. And a strong likelihood, like it's got to be more than 50%, folks. You can get me arrested for any crime you want, so long as there's a corroborating testimony or you're willing to swear under oath you saw it was me. But that's enough to get a guy arrested for a crime. It's also enough for 3 individuals to give 3 like descriptions of me going into a fucking bank and coming out around the time of the robbery. That could be used to get a warrant of probable cause. It's hearsay. Nonetheless, it's valuable witness testimony, right?
Mm-hmm.
So where in that document, and this is what stirred me in the beginning, where in that document does it show Kohberger at that house? It doesn't.
Right.
There's not one piece of credible evidence that shows him at the house. All the evidence they do present shows him everywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough?
Yep.
Right. And the idea that they decided to name the suspect vehicle 1 traveling around that property as his is just unimaginably corrupt. If the FBI agent said it was 11 to 13, and then later, years later, is then asked, and the information I got from one of those hearings or one of those filings was he's more comfortable on his original identification of the car. He's very comfortable with that. No question that car is an 11 to 13. Knowing that now, folks, and they had no proof that here's the other thing. Even if it's a 14 to 16, here's the fucking problem. This guy, the only thing you could say about this guy is he owns a car from the same from the same series of vehicles, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You have no way to put him there. You say you got it on a camera. How do you know that car was involved in the crime?
Right.
How do you know he was driving the car at that point? You don't know. You no longer have his cell phone pinging, right?
Yeah.
So you have no way to place Kohberger in any fucking car. I don't give a fuck if it was the purple people-eating car that he owned. And they saw they would have to be that obnoxiously obvious. He drove up in a purple people-eater car and stayed there until after the crime was done. Okay. But that's not what they said. It was a white 4-door Hyundai Elantra, right?
Yeah.
They come to TV, told you there's 22,000 fucking cars around here. Right?
Yeah.
All right. So my point is the probable cause affidavit didn't meet the level of probable cause to begin with. That's why the guy, we all know this too. We all argued this together. And that's why they went around the fucking corner and got the indictment.
Yeah. And
yet people somehow forget that all the streamers were understanding of that when it happened. It's like that just gets fucking forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a point in time where many, many, many streamers saw the dirty fucking pool played by the prosecutor. He avoided the pre-trial fucking hearing.
Yeah.
Right? And then we started finding out shit we didn't know anything about. Then we started finding all this questionable shit. And now we're at a point where we're at now. And now someone has come out of the woodwork with a new video, and they're claiming that this shows Brian Kohberger was allegedly a suspect in a crime in 2022. 2021.
Yeah.
In September of 21, this particular streamer came out. Lana did a great job, Truth and Transparency. I'll give a shout out to her. I'm actually going to play her a part of her clip. Hopefully I got it streamed up right. So I'll give a post for her. She did a good job with this. And to me, there's a part of this that I don't know that many people are paying attention to. And I'm going to put that clip up. And I want you to listen closely to the description of this person of interest during the commission of a crime. I think it was in September of 2021, a home invasion. All right, here we go. Hang on.
You're not sharing it if you think you are. Just letting you know.
Yeah, I was thinking I was sharing it. It's not coming through.
It ain't even on the screen, man.
Come on now with this. All right, hang on 1 second, folks. We're going to have to hear a couple of seconds. Let me see if I can't bump it ahead a little bit. 5 seconds. All right, so I'm going to present it now. I apologize. I apologize for my error. We know they're rare and far and few between.
Hey, something special. Remember, look at the title.
You got it. That's why I made the title. In all fairness. Okay, so this should be Lana. Okay. Do you see her now?
Yeah, there we go.
Can you guys see it? Here we go. I'm going to turn it on.
Searched the residence and did not find anyone inside. I spoke with Alex. She said she was asleep in her bedroom, in the basement when she awoke to her bedroom door being opened. She said she saw a person enter the room and approach her bed. She said the person was wearing a full face burgundy ski mask and was holding a knife in their right hand. She described and demonstrated the person holding the knife up to their right with the blade coming out of the bottom of their right fist. She said when the person got to the edge of her bed, she kicked them in the stomach. She said the person fell back against her closet but was still standing. She said the person immediately, in quotes, booked it, leaving the room rapidly, and she heard them running upstairs. She said the person was silent and did not say anything the whole time. Alex said she then put on pants and went into Sadie's bedroom, which is next to her own bedroom. She said that she told Sadie what happened, and Sadie called the police. She said while Sadie was on the phone, her other two roommates, Caitlin and Alyssa, arrived. Alex said the back door of the residence was unlocked prior to Alyssa and Caitlin coming home. Alex described the suspect as about 5'3" to 5'5". I don't recall her ever giving a height, though. I remember her saying short. And she did not know if they were male or female. She said they were wearing a burgundy full-face ski mask and what may have been a dark crew neck sweatshirt. She said they were holding a knife with a blade similar to, but not slightly larger than, a typical steak knife. Alex did not have any suspects. She said her roommate sometimes played pranks on her, but never like this, and would not have taken it this far. She said she had been part of the sorority her roommates were in. So this is the first time that we're hearing that her roommates were still in that sorority. But Alex was not, A, currently a student, and B, was not still part of that sorority house. Very similar to what some have alleged in the Idaho 4 case with certain people. She said she did not have any problems with the house. She said she worked at Zoe Cafe in Pullman and was going to start work at 6:30 in the morning. Alex said she sometimes had customers that were odd or creepy towards her, but she did not think any of them would know where she lived. She said she did not bring anyone to her home. First of all, you didn't ask if she ever brought anyone to her home. You asked her if she brought any of those creepy people to her home. So again, I make notes of all of this stuff here. Sadie told me she was in her bedroom in the basement next to where Alex's bedroom is. Very similar to the Idaho 4 case where you have on the bottom level 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. So Sadie and Alex's bedrooms are on the basement level. Sadie said she had been in her bed watching TV, but still awake, 3:30 in the morning. She said she did not see anything. And the first thing she heard was the sound of someone running up the stairs. She said then Alex came into her room and told her what happened, and Sadie called the police. Also, what she said in the body cam, but it's not written here, is that she didn't hear her roommate, Alex, scream. I gave Alex my card with the case number and asked her to contact me with any further information. I asked her to lock everything and call 911 if there were any problems.
Okay, so what I really wanted to pull from that, there's some more in there that'll actually claim that the perpetrator appeared to be 5'4".
Yeah, 5'3",
I'm-
5'5".
Right? So
Yeah.
I played a video on a stream here. I think it might have been the last stream or the stream before. And I showed physically Zaina walking from the kitchen into the living space. When she walked across the floor where Dylan's bedroom door is, she presents herself with the staircase at her back. Okay? And her head basically reaches the top of the staircase, the landing. Okay? And her shoulder is at the third step before the landing. So she's in that hallway. She shows it's also a one-step hallway. When she's in that hallway going from the kitchen to the living area, her height is determinable by the staircase.
Mhm.
Now, when she steps into the living room, her shoulder that was at the third stair moves up above the top platform to where her head was on the floor below her, meaning that step gives that much of a height variance.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when we go back to the original accusations on Kohberger and we concentrate on the story Dylan gave, the story Dylan gave describes the perpetrator and the crime we just heard about. Because the height of 5'3" to 5'5" would exactly represent or present itself to between 5'10" and 6 feet. As a matter of fact, if he's 5'5", it makes him 5'11". If he's 5'4", it makes him 5'10". In other words, from Dylan's perspective, and I said this way in the beginning, the person walking toward her had to be much shorter. Because immediately after she gives the description, she goes into frozen shock phase and closes her door. It's the police that tell us he walked through the kitchen and out the sliding glass door.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They also tell us that's how he entered the property. The police there's no statement from a witness or any video or photograph of anybody entering or exiting that sliding glass door. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
It's a summation by the police officer. So that means this person had to be walking towards her from Zaina's room, cutting across the living area, which would have made that man the proper height for her description, meaning that this report of this incident is most likely the real perpetrator in that crime.
Well, I'm not going to say necessarily it's most likely the real perpetrator in the Idaho 4, but I will say that in terms of it making sense as to why they would investigate Kohberger or suspect Kohberger for it, it makes no fucking sense. And how?
Let me tell you what I didn't keep playing.
Okay.
Kohberger became associated with the case only after he was charged and in prison, in jail.
Oh yeah, of course.
His association had nothing to do with the time and date. But here, I just want to be clear. The reason this connection should be made, and made strongly, in my opinion, is because this person was identified in an extraordinarily similar fashion. And it may be, in fact, he got rid of the ski mask because those fucking things shift around on your face, bro.
Yeah.
You know that. They're not pleasant. And may have switched over to the one that covered just his nose and mouth and had bushy eyebrows. I think the guy that went into her room may have been Hispanic or something. He has, in other words, the potential and likelihood that the perpetrator on this particular night in 21, being the culprit for what really happened in Idaho on that night, on the 13th of November, 22, that person, I believe, is one and the same to both crimes. And I think that argument, and that should have been followed up a lot more closely.
Yeah.
Okay?
No, I agree with that.
Because you have to recognize, and now they tore the house down. Thank God there's videos out there that the defense can use to show. You know, Brian would have been 6'6" for God's sakes if she'd have seen him. He'd have been looking. Do you follow what I mean?
Yeah.
That girl's almost 5'10" herself. So for her to understand the height of the person coming towards her at that, I don't think she's thinking essentially anything about the floor. She's just seeing this guy, right?
Right.
How tall? 5'10" to 6 foot, which would have been spot on because he would have been head level with her. Then she closed her door and went into frozen shock phase. So she didn't witness him walk out the back door. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say this crime and that Idaho 4 crime, in my honest, humble fucking opinion, are more closely connected and are probably closer to the truth of what happened than we'll ever know. The fact that they didn't chase down who got into these girls' apartments or put more effort into it is sad. But you know, they didn't have everything to go on. They had a guy in a ski mask. So, you know, how do you actually catch that perpetrator? But how many people are 5'4"? How many men, adult men, are that height?
Well, I mean, they didn't even have a gender. They had a burgundy ski mask.
Right. They didn't have a gender. Yeah.
So,
But they carried the knife in a position to strike, right? That's what she said. The blade was down by the fist.
Yeah.
So they were coming in there to fucking get her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could it have been a girl? Yeah, but I'm telling you, there's a lot of short, especially some of these guys that come south of the border that have come up here over these last few years.
Yeah. No,
right? The bushy eyebrows, the black hair, the height of 5'5". That's
Yeah.
not inconsistent. There's many people that came up here this way.
Yeah.
Look at the guy that just set the girl on fire in the subway. Guatemala. Did you see that?
I did see a thumbnail or two, but I haven't really.
I'm not trying to impugn that they commit all crimes. What I am trying to say is crimes like this are common. When you hear that, you know, you're not hearing they went into 7-Eleven and took a Coca-Cola and got arrested.
Right.
And if they're doing that, I don't know about it. I don't hear it. So I'm saying it don't happen, but you do hear some nasty fucking things that a lot of these people that cross that border are doing to us. And so to carry that over to the Idaho 4, that description to me to me, what she described is exactly what that young girl described. And for some reason, the cops are too stupid to even consider that step up as being part of her equation. Do you follow me?
Yeah.
It's like it's not even dawning on. And many streamers don't seem to be dawning on them either. But I really think that that's a particular important nuance, because nothing is simple, right? Until you got all the facts. And then you look, oh, that's pretty simple. We should have seen that sooner. But when you ignore facts that are that blatant, in my humble opinion, the guy's 5'5" or 5'4", that describes what Dylan saw. She just happened to be looking at a guy that was 6 inches taller because he had to step up to the area she witnessed him in. She didn't say she witnessed him in the kitchen.
Right.
She witnessed him walking towards her. You can't walk towards somebody in a hallway that's one stride, okay? That's taking a step towards you. So she had to have caught a glimpse of this person coming from that floor.
Right.
And then he stepped down and walked past her. So again, I don't know. To me, I don't see a coincidence. Coincidences, to me, aren't really applicable in something like this. I can't, and I'll always think that particular person, whoever that was that night, that's the actual killer here in this crime. I don't want to hear anything about drug cartels or this or that or whatever. The girls were both in sororities. This girl was a sorority girl, and the house is a sorority house he went into, right?
Yeah.
There's another sorority house with multiple bedrooms and women, and he went into that one and he committed these crimes. I'm telling you, that's probably exactly how this happened. And all these grand conspiracies and reflections and fucking, you could see shit off the surface of the moon and asphalt. It's fucking crazy, right? Hear sounds and noises and horns and lights and fucking, oh my God. Grub trucks and hub trucks and fucking, oh, Jesus Christ. Lord above, save me from all that chaos. When there's actual facts that fit the fucking crime, right? You can't dispute what I'm pointing out is fitting the crime rather well, right?
No, that's fair. We need more people like you in true crime.
No. You don't need more people like me. I can't stand coming on here. But I think that point is relevant, especially the defense. Hopefully the defense has it. And if you go back and just look at the accusations against this poor bastard, it's like I said, he could have done it, but he just couldn't have done it the way they claim. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, you fucked your sister on fucking June 3rd. No, I didn't fuck her until October. Okay. That ain't my baby. Okay. You know what I mean? The fuck, man. I'm not denying I fucked my sister. I'm just saying you're 5 months too early. That kid she's 5 months pregnant can't be mine. I banged that bitch with a belly.
Oh, fuck.
Well, yeah, we're getting married soon, too. A fucking Sherman tank ring. Who's going to wear that?
This motherfucker right here.
Cletus the clown. Going to wear a fucking 88,000-pound ring.
No, it's got ground up fucking steel from a Sherman tank embedded in it. You jackass. It weighs less than probably that gold band with the fucking diamonds in it.
Oh, I have to put that one on display. It's been sitting in the same drawer for fucking 20 years. Unbelievable. I wonder if it's worth it. It cost probably $1,000 back then when I bought it. Maybe
Well,
more. It wasn't cheap. We bought a set.
You said you can't stand to come on here, and I mean I can fucking understand why. All right, because I mean I said this. I was referring to you, I think last night or night before, about some shit that you pointed out back when we first started talking. And one of the things that, you know, you've always really had a huge problem with this PCA, and I've always had a problem with it, but not for the same reasons that you had an issue with it. And the way that you pointed it out made a lot of fucking sense to me, and it made me start looking at things different. And then when this whole Sebastian case came about, right, and Nick Barris and that fucking video came out, we were always saying like that shit just doesn't. Why are we chasing fucking dark, right?
Like we did with Linda Lane.
And you got this fucking guy that goes and spends weeks fucking putting out videos, overlays, and fucking this and that and blah blah blah. And I'm sitting here all fucking bent about this. Like, you know, I hope because of the effort he's put in, he's fucking right. But then we go and we fucking actually do it, and it's wrong, and it's no fucking slight to him. But you've got so many fucking people that just refuse to look at that and accept the facts that are presented to them,
Right.
because they're so fucking brainwashed into a narrative. And it's like, that's why I say there needs to be more people like you out here, because if you don't look at everything through the lens of a fucking narrative, you can see the facts as they are.
Well, you know, and Clue does that quite a bit too. She's especially with the Sebastian stuff, where she breaks it down, and she saw a ton of shit through Idaho 4 too.
Yeah.
And some of these reports that were given, and it's, you try to be critically thinking. The information you have, if it's signed and certified under a sworn oath, that's a fact. Yeah. Now, it doesn't mean that fact proves anything, but when you read in a document accusations against somebody, and you can see this on some true crime gets it right, because they show the actual case. So, for example, I'm watching Crimes Caught on Video. I've been watching a few of them in the background while I'm listening to some of these fucking theoretical physicists talk their fucking heads off. Anyway, what you'll see is there was a guy that he literally killed his ex-wife, right?
Yeah.
And he fled Florida, and he had her phone and her credit cards with him. And he text messages were being sent from her phone to her family and friends saying that she had caught the coronavirus and that she was in a corona facility, blah, blah, blah. But this guy fled, and they caught him. They finally had enough reason to suspect that the black pickup truck that was at the house, that was a picture of the black pickup truck, not him, but the truck itself. They had that, and they used that to get a warrant on the truck. This is what I want people to listen very closely to what is supposed to happen in real life. This guy literally slaughtered his fucking ex-wife and backed his truck up to the fucking garage and hauled the body away. This is true. But let me explain to you how you got to that conclusion in law enforcement. And what they did was absolutely correct. They had no physical description or any idea of who was in the house that committed this crime. They did have the picture of his vehicle out by the garage. But they also couldn't say for sure the time at that, all these things have to go into it. But they definitely couldn't place him in the house or even a part of being with that truck. So what they did is they got a warrant for the truck, because they had a reason to get a warrant for the truck, because the truck had an image of it being at the house that night. You see?
Yeah.
Then they got the truck, and then they put sniffer dogs in it, cadaver dogs, and they got hits. They used those hits, okay, to then get a warrant against him. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That's how you investigate and build a case against an American citizen. I want anybody in the true crime community. I know I don't get a lot of listeners, but all you super smart fucking wizards that dig up all of this great data and then misinterpret it, right? How any of you can just fucking dispute what I just said? How is it that they didn't do that with Brian Kohlberger? They could have got a warrant just for his motherfucking car. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They don't do. Where's that in his fucking warrant? Why is it they didn't know it was in that car until fucking months after the crime? Because these assholes went and charged this guy with a crime with no evidence, and then tried to build a case behind it, and fucking ran into a wall on every fucking turn. And they still won't admit that's what they did. And this kid could be shot and killed. If these courts allow this to go to trial and this guy gets convicted, I can't even imagine it not being appealable in many, many, many ways.
He will get convicted. I'm convinced of it. Like it just is what it is, right? The Leilani Simon trial is a prime fucking example of why. I had this argument the other day with who was I talking to? I don't remember, but anyway, I had this discussion about the fucking danger of the goddamn hive mentality.
Yep.
And it really is a situation like Leilani Simon. I would 100% agree. They presented the evidence to show she's a shit fucking mother, to show that she was in the house, to show that she disposed of the baby. I could agree with that all fucking day, but they did not show that she was the only one of 3 people that was in the house that actually did something to the child, or that any of them actually did something to the child other than dispose of it. And it's beyond me, because it's like I could never convict somebody for murder if the fucking state can't show me what they did.
And people accept this.
Yeah, and I mean, look, it is what it is. I don't disagree with her being in jail. I don't give a fuck. I don't know her. She ain't shit to me. But at the end of the day, that court system that is allowed to convict somebody of murder is getting away with a fucking crime, because they have they have gotten 12 people to sit there and say, yeah, you did a good enough job. Let's throw her in fucking jail for 35 years for murdering her child, when we really don't know, but it seems likely, so it's good enough.
Well, let me just say to you and the general audience, you live in a country that's supposed to be regulated by a constitution which walls your government off from violating you. That's what this is. That's what America is. That's it in a nutshell. That's why it's a republic, not a democracy. Democracy can be just overruled by a 50.1% margin. 0.1%, the country could be controlled by a group of fucking people like you would see New York, Chicago, California. You'd see about 5 states that would pick your president every fucking 4 years. You'd have no say. That's why this is a republic. And that republic comes with conditions for government to exist. And these conditions are not to be fucking argued with. You cannot impugn my fucking free speech. And yet, what do? They work with them to impugn everybody's free speech by going by the back door through using a company to do their dirty work for them. We know that to be true. This isn't fake. That's true. And we've become so inclined to just accept that these people, a district attorney and a DOJ that says we have 99.9% conviction rates. That's not likely, folks, that they only fucking find guilty people. Just think about that. Yeah. That's not what they're doing. That's not justice. They negotiate most of those fucking convictions. They're not tried. And they get this conviction number. And this is what happens in, they're playing this game. That this is their job is to be the most fucking successful district attorney because I got more prosecutions. And you know what would make you the most successful fucking attorney, in my opinion? Is that you prevented prosecutions, whether the person was guilty or not, obvious or unobvious, because of mistakes made by your fucking process. That your mistakes, which go contrary to the constitutional fucking limit, were made. Right? Yeah. Like John doesn't want to call in on his fucking partner that made a mistake in a serious crime scene. He's going to decide whether the mistake was big enough. That's not your job.
Yeah.
A system can't run efficiently, and a system can't be regulated if nobody pays attention to the fucking regulations. The Idaho 4 is a perfect example of that. Don't tell me you checked that motherfucker's car. With all the hype, history, story, the stalking, the backlog and story on that fucking car you put in the media, the car itself picked up a fucking knife and stabbed somebody. Literally, right?
Yeah.
The car didn't need a human being to go and do the killing. The car was the whole fucking case. And it never was the right car. He never did stalk anybody. You never could place his car around that. The only image of a car that you have that reflects his is going the wrong way in the wrong time on the wrong road. It's like, what the fuck do people need to hear before they say, oh, yeah, our government everywhere has run amok?
Yeah.
Look at all the liberals that are out there that think Trump should be convicted 94 times. It's insanity. The way people now have viewed how the criminal justice system is being viewed by many Americans is the most fucked up personal point of view anybody could have on anything. Right? I mean, that's like cuddling up the fucking manure and telling you it's just a way to keep warm. And that's it. There's no other way to do it. I mean, you're going to go sleep with shit every day and tell me I'm fucked up because I won't sleep in a pile of shit with you. Literally, that's what this is. That's the era we live in. Somebody's 5.63 billion morons, folks. There's many of them on our side too, but there's many people that have ideas and they just don't give a fuck what the facts say.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And if you did care about the truth, you know, and you're this big worrier about carbon, and you want everybody to get taxed because you're going to fix the fucking planet. Meanwhile, there's fucking people in the street that can't eat. There's people with issues. There's people that are struggling that were vets that almost died for your country to get just enough money not to have money. That's okay. You know, our priorities and we've accepted so much malfunction that it's fucking incredible. It's become commonplace.
Yeah, it has. It really fucking has.
And true crime, it's done because you got to deal with people that are connected to elected officials that are looking for this fucking. Look, I'd rather you had a 72% conviction rate. You found 8% of those fucking 100% that there were mistakes made by the department, and you couldn't charge them. You fucked up. And the other percent, you found no reason to bring charges, or you didn't win in court. So you won 78% of the time, but you did. You know, the other 22% was either you didn't charge or the guy beat you in court. That's fair enough as far as I'm concerned. Some people should win. The fuck, you got 99.9%. Imagine being the Buffalo Bills or some other team that wins 99.9% of their fucking games. I mean, what the fuck? Tom Brady retired. Those days are over. I do like Tom Brady. Holy shit. Tennessee Titans. Get out of here with that fucking team. Aren't they Johnny come latelys?
Fuck, I don't know. I don't know nothing about them anymore. I followed them when I went to the very first game they ever played in Tennessee as the Tennessee Oilers at Vanderbilt Stadium. And I saw them play Jacksonville Jaguars one year after Nissan Stadium was built. And I haven't seen them in years. Hadn't watched them.
Yeah, well, I catch football. I like catching it on YouTube where you can get all the highlights of the game.
Yeah.
You know, it's torturous with their fucking commercials, though. But other than that, I mean, you could skip through and some games that I'm interested in, I want to see, like, you know, specific teams. I don't want to watch their whole game. I just need to know if they won or not.
My problem
with football,
they kept fucking making rules. They kept adding fucking rules.
Yeah, dude.
Why do you gotta complicate this fucking game? You put a bunch of fucking people on a field with a goddamn.
Dude, you know, you can only do an onside kick in the fourth quarter, and you have to alert the other team.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't understand. Like, I get safety measures and shit, right? I'm all for that. Make it, you know, you want to put fucking pads around these motherfuckers all day. Cool. Don't make it harder for them to play by the fucking rules. Most of them can't even fucking read the rules and understand them. What the fuck are you doing?
Well, no, they all got college degrees.
Yeah, okay.
They all do.
Yeah.
Except maybe a couple of walk-ins. But they recruit all these people from top universities, right?
Yeah. Well,
or university that have top sports departments.
Let's just say I've met a few, and yeah. I would not consider a college that they came from accredited if they graduated.
But were they hitting the head enough to forgotten what they learned?
I mean, that may very well be, but I'm just saying, like, it's a brutal fucking game. There's no reason to make it less fucking brutal. Like,
it's a gladiator type sport for the modern times.
Right. And it's like, leave it the fuck alone. Let it be fucking brutal. If this big bastard wants to go out there and fucking spend 10 years getting his fucking ribs broken, his fucking clavicle cracked, let him.
Yeah. Well, he gets rewarded with a significant amount of money.
Right. Exactly.
Right? I mean, he's practiced his whole life in conditions so that he can do this. So I don't know. Some practical measures should be taken, and they do.
Yeah.
But now, if you kick it into the end zone, they come out to the 30 instead of the 20. Why would you ever want to run it back? Unless the guy doing the kickoff leaves the ball land around the 30, then of course you're going to catch it.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's a good starting place.
Yeah.
So these guys just let it go. and they get an automatic starting spot at the fucking 30. It's like, come on, it used to be 20. In other words, you weren't penalized, but it was more of a challenge if you didn't put the effort in at the 20-yard line. Fair enough?
Yeah.
And they now they're giving the kickoff, the receiving team the advantage by giving them that extra 10 yards. I just think you're right. They just water the game down. They want us to all be soccer fans like they are in Europe. Fuck England and their fucking football. They're playing with their fucking feet. Be a man, God damn it. Right? Chase that egg-shaped fucking, you can't even define the shape of the ball, but chase that one. Catch that while a 220-pound fucking guy's coming at your ass, bro. Fuck their football, running around the field bumping and tripping each other like a bunch of fucking goons. Cut it out, you homos. Pick the fucking ball up and run. See who can catch you that fucking ball. You want to play. That's what we used to do when we were a kid. And it was a derogatory, it was called Smear the Queer. That was the name of the game. If the ball landed by you, you had to pick it up and try to get away. And everybody came after your ass. We didn't fuck around when we were kids, bro. There was no PlayStation. We didn't even have dots moving across the screen yet.
It's like they hadn't even invented Pong.
The fuck, Pong wasn't even really out. If it was in the very beginning, but I didn't know where it was. I was fucking buried under a pile of like 13 fucking people.
Yeah,
it was crazy, man. And the girls played along with us too.
It was when Pong was played on a 3-inch screen in a room with a computer, with a computer the size of a fucking house.
Yeah,
yeah.
The neighbor down the street had that. He worked for fucking Xerox. He had some huge fucking computers like crazy, and printers and copiers and all kinds of shit.
I miss the dot matrix printers. Those loud fucking bastards that took forever to print. God,
yeah,
that's
shit. A nightmare, bro. It was like a fucking teletype back in the fucking World War II. Just a little fancier and in plastic, but still nonetheless. What in the fuck? A rotating head that drops the letters, letter by letter.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Your printer prints the whole thing. It does it the same way, but in a more efficient fashion today.
Yeah.
I use a laser printer. I think puts out some great images. Especially business, all my invoice contracting and stuff. It works out well. Well, I don't know. So where are we here? We're getting close to our hour. And any luck on Sebastian? Anybody find anything of significance?
We've been out quite a bit lately. We went out today. We're going out tomorrow. Probably take Christmas off, and then we'll be going out the rest of the week. I think we haven't found the first fucking sign of him.
I don't know that you're going to anyway.
I don't. I've said this. My goal is not really to find him in the woods. I really hope that I fucking don't. It's more to be able to eliminate it and say, yeah, he's not there, right? That's kind of the methodology we're using. So,
yeah, I think sadly whatever's happened, it's final, and it's just I don't even know how he's going to get fucking found. Hopefully, it ain't through next hunting season or something.
Well, I mean, we're neck deep in the middle of hunting season here, so and there's been no sign that we know of. So
yeah, it's just sad, man. It's been almost a year. It's been a year, right?
Be 10 months Thursday morning. 10 months. Yeah. So
this Thursday?
Yeah, the 26th.
So this happened the day after Christmas?
No, 10 months.
Oh, 10 minutes.
Yeah,
10 months. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, see how quickly my head can go off on the wrong fucking thing? Bye. See you.
But,
damn.
Yeah, man.
That's sad because and all the infighting still happening with the streams and stuff.
Yeah, it's just, everybody's fucking got their theories, and it really, I don't know, I kind of stepped back from the bullshit and was just kind of focusing on him and how to try to find him, and that lights was the first thing, right? That lights video, and trying to figure out what the fuck are we really looking at. And since then, and seeing the fucking fallout from the facts being presented, right? And watching the shit show that comes on, and it's like one of two things, or both, are true here. Either a whole bunch of people don't want to fucking promote the facts because the facts make it quite simple and uninteresting, and therefore they can't make any fucking money off of it. Or people are wanting so fucking bad for public opinion to put pressure on political people in the county so that an arrest is made and they can convict somebody, kind of like what they're trying to do to fucking Koberger. And it's like it's fucking sad and scary at the same time. It's
yeah,
really,
and I think the Koberger case is one of the most obvious tragedies of justice, and to where they really went out of their way. They really bypassed the proper procedure. And I'm going to tell you, folks, go watch True Crime, and see what the Florida Police Department had to do in order to get to the perpetrator. I mean, you could add, just like anybody else could. His truck was out front. A neighbor took a picture of it. It was running. I mean, your natural assumption, he was the driver of that truck. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Right. But that's not how they dealt with it. They couldn't place him in the house or even on the property. The fact that his truck was there running suggests that, but it doesn't prove that. Somebody could have borrowed that truck. She could be borrowing that truck. You don't know. Right.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So that's why they went after the truck with a warrant. They had an infinite responsibility to actually solidify a case against this guy before they even charged him.
Yeah.
To the best of their ability. If they were trying not to tip the guy off, if they really knew it was him, then they would have known where to get this evidence, and they would have been able to drop the hammer on him like they did, with evidence of something that placed him there that night. Direct identification of the car because of a dent or a bumper sticker, something definitive.
Yeah.
And none of that exists. See, when it doesn't exist, that's called investigate and find something that exists. Okay? It's not called arrest this fucking guy on 4 fucking homicides and a burglary and then go find out.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
And that's what I keep saying. I don't know if the kid did it or not, but I'm relatively certain he didn't do it the way they describe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yep.
That's all. It don't even take that much intelligence to see on all the contradiction that's come forward out of the mouths of the people involved. That's what's damning here. It's not just filing a motion. It's that these motions are supported by testimony from the people that he keeps saying and she keeps demanding records on. His alibi, I said this in the very beginning, his alibi of where he was that night are the police themselves.
Yep.
They can place him with a reasonable confidence in certain distances or locations that they're saying. I don't give a fuck if you could triangulate or not. And I'm telling you, the locations that they're going to place him at are far enough away from that home and so coincidentally not in sync with the times they're claiming the crime happened that guy shouldn't be in jail. That still doesn't mean he didn't commit this crime, right? Like they're claiming 11 to 13, and I already said this. He could have swapped cars with somebody. That wouldn't be unprecedented. That'd be a most clever fucking thing to do. So if this guy's the perfect planner, fucking went to school to do this, that would sort of want to, wouldn't you want to think that would be sensible to flip the script on the cops like that?
Yeah.
You show up in the same kind of fucking car you already own, just a different year, make, model,
Yeah.
and that car gets identified. I mean, if you want to talk about Koberger being smart, that's got to be part of your narrative, or you're just stupid. You can't claim this kid spent his whole life for this fucking moment in time. Yeah, all of his studying was based on he's going to be a serial killer. He's going to copy the fucking all these serial crimes. That was his whole goal in life, Cletus. So, and to think that somebody with that kind of education, that kind of pre-planning and desire to commit these kind of a crime, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't make that kind of a logical switch and get his ass when his car's phone turns off. Did he get in an 11 to 13 Elantra? Is this guy smart enough to commit the crime in the same fucking model car, just a different year? Is he?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's no reason he wouldn't be.
That's
It's
right.
the claims of him, right? So my point is, I think if you're going to make the argument this guy was this fucking lifelong planner of fucking killing people, that situation is not even hard to consider. It actually makes sense.
Yeah, he's sitting there in fucking jail going, "You dumb fucks, you're so close, but you just don't realize
Right.
that my
right.
car was sitting at Huawei Park where I picked up the 11 to 13 Elantra."
You see?
Yeah.
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 And now, but again, so I'm saying all of this could denote that Koberger did it, but none of it denotes that he does. In other words, my explanation here, my storyline of including him switching vehicles is nothing anybody's ever brought up. But in a sense that now that you know the car around the house is 11 to 13, if you want to put the narrative together, the guy's a fucking a murderous genius, right?
Yeah.
Right. He's Boris Karloff, and he's fucking all of those, whatever, the top of the line, fucking top of the line. He's a BTK killer that went 30 years, right? With 10
Yeah.
bodies. This is Brian Kohlberger. So if you want to put him at that house, and you got to put him in that fucking car, which is possible, but there's no accusation of such a fucking move happening.
Right.
But that's how if I think that if you really think Kohlberger planned this out, like, and he fucked up with the DNA, I think then you really have to consider that a smart person would do exactly that. That's a genius fucking thing to have done if he did the crime.
Yeah.
And then he's driving out, he's caught on camera in a 14 to 16. And here's the best part. You can't even catch him driving it.
Right.
Right? You don't got images of him in the car. Nor do you got images of anybody in the car on the fucking 11 to 13. You got no images of nobody. Right?
That's right.
Crazy, crazy world. Listen, this has been awesome, Cletus.
Yes, sir.
What time is it here? What we got? A fucking minute 5. I thought I ran the clock out the way I was talking. I think we're going almost the speed of light here,
I
Cletus.
was about to say that's the problem. We're going the speed of fucking light. The distance got shorter.
Right?
The clock ain't got to turn as far now.
Holy fuck, man. Yeah. What's going on with you, Clue?
She's in the other room. Staying here.
Titty girl on TV today.
Do what?
A big titty girl on my 85-inch screen TV today.
Yeah, I come out of the I was actually going into the woods, and I was with Crabtree, and fucking I was like, I but wonder if she's live yet. And we turned it on his phone, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Dude,
I'm like, all you see is a fucking.
I walked by the TV and almost motorboated the TV.
Oh, I bet Betty was jealous as fuck.
Betty's got 2 boobs at 3 different heights. It's crazy. Poor Betty.
Oh, fuck, but I bet her knees stay warm. What can you say?
One of them does. That bitch lopsided, brother.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, good. That's a good note to end on.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'll talk with you. Everybody be good. Stay out of trouble. See ya.
See you.